In today's video, I'm gonna go over this violet color. It's a PV19 pigment and it's a beta quinacridone. There's another PV19 that has a more pinkish color, mostly known or sold under the name Quinacridone Rose. This particular color of violet, I don't use it as much. I actually bought the Quinacridone Violet from Schminke while I was putting together a palette inspired by Dr. Otto Kano here on YouTube. She has a wonderful series about the color wheel and how to select colors and complementary. So I'll try to put that link to her channel in the description of this video. But pretty much that video led me to buy the Schminke color. Then in my giant Sennelier set, this permanent magenta, a PV19 that's similar in hue to the Quinacridone Violet, was present, although slightly duller and has a little bit more texture. And then of course I had a Rose of Ultramarine that has a similar hue, and Dr. Otto Kano also has a comparison video with this color and the Imperial Purple, and that's very informative. These three colors, to me, they're similar in hue. Their properties are very different, and I'm trying to bring this value chart closer. The Schminke Quinacridone Violet is the first one, and this color can get quite dark in mass tone. The Schminke one, I tried to use as concentrated from the tube as I could, and you can see under that 5 a little bit of a shine. So I would not recommend doing that. Maybe layering, because this is a non-granulating color and it layers really nice. Sennelier Permanent Magenta, also it can get a little dark. It can be a little grayed out and desaturated compared to the Queen Violet, and then the Rose of Ultramarine, since it's a blend between a PV19 and I assume that was the Quinacridone Rose and Ultramarine. You can see a little bit more separation, but in this small study, again, in a more concentrated form, you can see that particular shine. So definitely use it more diluted. On the next page, I did my 5 experiments: the movement in water, the lift, layers, gradient, and opacity. And the first 2 colors, they were quite similar, with the Queen Violet being a little bit more smoother and very fast moving in water. I had the same issue with Sennelier layering on this particular paper. It kind of lifted when I tried to put in this 3rd layer, and I tried to use a more concentrated color, and then yeah, I caused that little shine. And the Rose of Ultramarine, I think it looks at the best in a more diluted version, like in this particular swatch here with the gradient. In the more concentrated part, the ultramarine kind of settles in the grooves of the paper, and then the pink dilutes really nicely. I was surprised how well this color layered even on this cellulose paper. But yeah, this and of course the dispersion in water, I would assume the pink moves a little faster, creates this nice edge, and then the blue settles in the middle. And now we're gonna do the lift test. If I can find my scrubbing brush. Oh, here it is. Oh, this will do. In these colors, quinacridones are known for being staining, so I do not expect a lot of lifting. But again, this particular paper is not the best. But I'm surprised this Schminke Quinacridone Violet lifts up quite well. Let's see. Sennelier. I think it's gonna be a similar situation. Maybe a little bit more gray left on the paper, but overall looks quite white. And then the Rose of Ultramarine, if it's the Quinacridone Rose, that has a little bit more staining properties, but the blue should lift up quite easily. And indeed, this Rose of Ultramarine, it's much harder to lift, even if I try to put a little bit more effort. The little line here, it's slightly pinkier than the previous ones. Overall, a very nice color. The Rose of Ultramarine, it's a convenient. If you have a pink and ultramarine on your palette, you can easily mix it. As for the Queen Violet, as much as I like it, I hardly ever use it. And then the Permanent Magenta from Sennelier, I'll just have to make myself use that tube. I'm not sure how I'm gonna use it. It's a little too grayed out for florals, maybe for areas of shadow. But let me know in the comments, what do you use this specific color for? If you like it, if you dislike it, and if you have any mixes you like to see with it. these are some of the paintings I did using these colors. The Quinacridone Violet, the Schminke one, it's in this floral here. And the paint does look brighter on camera than in reality. And also, it does have a little bit of a drying shift. It looks so much brighter when you take it out of the tube or mix it on your palette, and then it dries slightly duller and less vibrant. Chanelio ones has an interesting texture. Maybe I'll use it for some abstract flowers. I think that would look nice. And then the Rose of Ultramarine here, I used it in a less concentrated form, and I like the soft pinks. But then because of a nice value range, you can get some interesting shadows. Since I have so many types of violets on my palette, I decided to use them to create shadows in this particular painting, and they turn out okay. The most duller ones, I felt like they caused just a little bit of kind of an overworked look. I like to mix my shadows with an ultramarine or a quinacridone rose, or phthalo blue and quinacridone rose to get like a nice deep shadow. Usually the more transparent your colors, the deeper dark colors you get. And I'll probably mention that in a future video. I found this advice in one of my watercolor books, but yes, this was today's video for the Quinacridone Violet, and then we're gonna move into the pinks and then hopefully make some progress into more interesting colors. See you soon.